Hey guys, what's up? My name is Tom Spark and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about some of the most popular VPN marketing tricks that you're going to have to watch out for. So these are 12 tricks and let's go ahead and show you what they're doing. Hey guys, just a reminder to check out vpntierlist.com. It's a collection of all my ratings on the channel and you're going to find lots of helpful information here on how to choose a VPN. Anyways, back to the video. One of the popular tricks that VPN companies will do will artificially inflate their server numbers. So you might go onto their website and they'll be like, oh, we have like 5,000 servers for you to pick from. But if you actually look at the number of servers they have, which is kind of be a little bit tricky, you'll find out that they actually don't really have as much as they make it out to be. They can inflate their servers, use kind of fake locations, and do all sorts of little tricks to make you think they're, more widespread than they actually are. Another marketing trick that VPN companies love to do is to make themselves seem immune to spy agencies around the world. They'll pick some kind of obscure shell company location like the Cayman Islands, the British Virgin Islands, Panama, or somewhere like that. And they'll say, since we're based here, we're immune to all spy agencies, no one can request your data, and we're perfectly safe. However, it turns out that just because you're outside of the 5 or 14 eyes doesn't mean you're immune to, spy agencies at large. These companies are pretty much global companies. They have offices all around the world. And there are many cases of companies outside the 5 and 14 eyes that have given up logs, like PureVPN, for example. And a lot of these companies that are based in shell locations are so anonymous and not very transparent, it makes them very hard to trust. Would you rather trust a company who you know the CEO is, who's transparent, you know where it is, you know the specific laws there, or would you rather trust an anonymous VPN company that you know nothing about, you don't really know their stance or, how much you can trust them? In my opinion, I wouldn't really trust one of those companies, and I don't think you really should either. Another thing you have to watch out for is flash sales. So you might go onto a VPN website and it'll be like, oh, in 9 hours, you're not going to be able to get this VPN anymore at this price. However, you can also look in, past months at the same webpage and you'll see that the deal is still there. This is super common with a lot of the most popular VPN providers, and don't fall for these flash sales. You can usually get a VPN for a good price pretty much all year long, and you don't have to, feel pressured into buying a VPN at a specific time, especially if there's like a flash sale. To be honest, I just don't really like the flash sales. You should be able to get a VPN priced as it is whenever you want, and I think that's the best consumer-friendly model. Another trick that VPN companies love to do is kind of buy out a popular influencer. They'll go on YouTube and find someone that the community trusts, and they'll try to kind of bribe their way into the platform and then sponsor this YouTuber and then get the YouTuber to make an advertisement or some kind of video telling you that you should trust this VPN because they specifically use it.
You have an entire network here of people whose sole job it is to find people to show your brand, and if you put even 10% of that effort into auditing the third parties that are actually providing the services that you're shilling, then I think you would have been able to perhaps avoid this entire mess in the first place.
Because most of the YouTubers out there and people who are getting sponsored by VPN companies really know nothing about VPN. They don't really review VPN. They're not cybersecurity experts. They're not really even that into privacy and anonymity. It's just an easy way for them to cash out and make some money, because it is kind of hard to make money online, and these VPN companies have some of the best affiliation platforms online, and pretty much anyone can join them. So watch out for that. Another little trick that VPN companies like to do is kind of make you think that they're fully secure by getting some kind of audit. Now, audits are pretty good. However, audits really don't have that much value unless the company that is getting audited doesn't get to pick the auditor. Not only that, but the audit has to be spontaneous and not planned for. So pretty much every single VPN company that's been audited to date has been able to plan for the audit. They've kind of picked the auditor themselves. And it just honestly doesn't really mean that much for me. If they are hiding something, if they're doing something they shouldn't be, of course they're going to, turn off that thing in their VPN company or in the database. They're not going to log or do something like that. So when the auditor comes by, everything looks spick and span. The equivalent would be like if you're working at some kind of food restaurant and the food restaurant knows exactly the date that person's going to come in to inspect everything. So the day the inspector comes, they make the whole restaurant super clean and make sure everything's tip-top shape. And then when the person leaves, they're kind of back to doing things sketchily, spitting on the food, doing whatever they want, not having proper hygiene, and so on. So I think that's a good analogy for VPN audits as well. Warring canaries aren't as much of a thing as they used to be, but it's also kind of another trick. A website might be like, oh, we have a notice on our website, and if the FBI or some other spy agency comes in and will take away that notice, so that way you'll know that they've been here. To be honest, that doesn't really mean anything. They could be forced to keep that on their website, so it just doesn't really mean anything, because they could just have the notice still there even if they have been breached, or maybe they don't know they've been breached. Honestly, it's just kind of a stupid little kind of marketing tool. Another popular trick VPN companies will do is just kind of plainly buy out review sites and not disclose it. They'll put these companies and review sites kind of behind shell companies and things like this, so it's really hard to prove who owns what. There have been some companies caught out, owning VPN websites and not being very diligent and kind of hiding the fact. You can also find VPN review sites that are owned by VPN companies very easily, because they're heavily biased and never say anything negative about, the top VPNs they have. Not only that, even companies like PCMag have been bought out by J2 Global, and they even are, shared companies with IPVanish. So some companies disclose it brazenly so, and it's just kind of a marketing trick in my opinion as well. Another trick VPN companies will do is inflate commissions and the prices of their VPNs themselves, so that way people are more incentivized to advertise for it. So companies like IPVanish, NordVPN, ExpressVPN, PureVPN, CyberGhost, some of the most popular VPN providers all have 100% commission rates, which means that if someone's advertising or an affiliate for one of these companies, they're going to make 100% of the first month of the cost. So if someone buys ExpressVPN, let's say someone bought CyberGhost from one of my reviews and they paid like $13 or something like that, I would make $13. So you could see why a lot of these VPN review sites and kind of people advertising VPNs usually tend to make a top 5 list with VPNs that are all 100% commission rates, so that way they're going to make the most money. Is it honest and critical review content? No, but it's going to make them a lot of money. Other thing you need to watch out for is lifetime or even 3-year commitment plans. VPN companies love to kind of draw you into long-term commitment plans. Sometimes they'll be like, oh, it's only $3 a month, and it turns out you actually paid up $100 up front for a 3-year subscription that you can't get out of after 30 days. I think this is kind of like a marketing trick. It definitely is. Not only that, sometimes you'll end up paying for a lifetime subscription to a VPN company, and I honestly don't recommend this either. VPN companies are very expensive to run, and if someone has a lifetime subscription, it means something is being skimped out on. Maybe the servers aren't really legitimate. Maybe they're kind of bought from fraudulent kind of use cases. There's been a lot of VPN providers that have kind of skimped out and bought MIGFO IPs, which turned out were fraudulently obtained. A lot of VPN providers did that. So that's just kind of one example. But 3-year VPN plans, lifetime deals are just kind of marketing tricks for me. You should really only get up to like 1 month or 6 months or a year, and that's after you like your VPN. Free plans as well as kind of marketing tricks. I think most of the free plans out there are super limited, don't really work with any streaming options, often have slower speeds, or just have very limited bandwidth to use. So any serious person who wants to use a VPN isn't really going to be using a free VPN at most. It's a good trial method or a way to see, what the VPN looks like in terms of how it works. But besides that, free VPN plans are not very useful at all. Another popular thing that VPN companies like to do is inflate the number of reviews on Android and iOS, as well as websites like Trustpilot. What they'll do is just kind of pay specific websites or even pay bots and users to leave fake, confident, good reviews. So that way when customers go to the applications, they'll be like, oh, well, this, VPN has really good reviews from, the Google Play Store and iOS and Trustpilot, so it must be good. Well, what they fail to realize is that probably most of these reviews are actually bought out. You could find on Trustpilot, lots of VPN services have reviews that are 5 stars from people who only have ever done one review. It's kind of like if you go on Yelp and you go to a restaurant and it has 5 stars from 30 people, and each one of those 30 people has only ever done one review. Chances are that means most of 90 to 100% of the reviews are fake. I've seen this on Yelp, and it's not any different on any other review-based platform. It's the same thing with Amazon. Amazon has been trying to crack on this for a long time with fake reviews. But unfortunately, iOS and the Google Play Store aren't really as good at doing this, so you're going to see a lot of fake reviews for a lot of VPN providers, especially ones that are topping lists. They're going to have like 40 to 50,000 fake reviews all 5 stars, and that's how they get their traffic, and it's honestly very disingenuous and quite sketchy in my opinion. Another popular trick rounding out the list is going to be VPNs that claim they don't log, but they actually do. A lot of VPNs will brazenly say, we don't have any logs, and then you scroll down in the privacy policy and they'll be like, oh, well, we do collect bandwidth and connection logs, and we do monitor some of the things, but it's all like anonymous, and we just get rid of it. But honestly, guys, if a VPN has any of that stuff, it means they do log, and you could find VPNs that don't log. Some of my top tier VPNs, for example, don't collect any logs, and it's not entirely necessary for a VPN to collect any logs to have a good VPN service, no matter what some VPN services will tell you. Anyways, guys, those are 12 marketing tricks that you really do have to watch out for. Thanks for staying tuned on Tom Spark Reviews. Check out the VPNtierlist.com to see my fully unbiased, complete ranking system of pretty much every single VPN out there that I've reviewed this year. Over 40 VPN providers rated by pricing, application, streaming compatibility, and so forth. Let me know down in the comments down below if you fell victim to any of these marketing tricks, or you know any other marketing tricks that VPNs do, and I'll see you again very soon.
Okay.